Hello and welcome, my Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, vocation read for December 2020 and January 2021. I am your reader, Archangelo Lyons. Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, fellow Earth sign Virgo that I am, the Archangel of Lyons, Archangelo Lyons. Oh, but you can call me Mal. Hi, my Taurians. How are you doing? I hope you're having a lovely, lovely, lovely day. Oh, we just passed a dark moon. We're finally a new moon, although it's void, of course, until it goes into Capricorn tonight. But it's Monday. I'm back at work, and I'm very, very happy to be doing these readings for you. I've been doing work, career, vocation readings for myself since before I started DrawingTheCircle Productions in 1998 in different ways and fashions. Then I came across the work of Carolyn Myss at a certain point. She taught me about 3 levels of power. It's a wonderful video. I'll put it in the description box if it's on YouTube. I think it is. I think it's already in the description box from last time. So we're going to be looking at the 3 levels of power: work, career, vocation. You could call it a life purpose read, but broken down into 3 levels of power, like eau de toilette, cologne, and perfume, right? Strength, right? The strength of the intensity of it. And I will explain that as we go. But first of all, really, my subscribers, thank you so much for helping me in my work, career, and vocation with your subscriptions, with your likes. Every time you hit a like button, more people get to see the video. It's just how it works. I don't know how many likes it takes to do that, but I'm willing to find out if you are. So please, thank you so much for your love and support. And if you're new to the channel, if something in the reading resonates, this is all it resonates, goes, oh, that's true, that feels right, you know, right there, hit the thumbs up button, right? It's like a video game. Ooh, that makes sense. Hit that one. It just helps other people see it. And if you want more, you know what to do. Subscribe and all the rest. Let's get down to business. Because this is a work, career, vocation read. We're going to use 9 cards, 3 different decks. Carolyn Myss archetype cards for the soul powers being developed, work, career, vocation. By the way, it's lower 3 chakras work, the heart, third eye, crown, career, and your 8th chakra, hovering over the head, represented by this bunch of grapes, apparently, for your vocation. So once we get the soul powers down, the archetypes, right, what's being alchemized from lead to gold on the golden journey of your soul's path, then we'll get 3 Daughters of the Moon Tarot to get your internal experience of that, like how that feels to you or what that's like personally. And then we'll use 3 Mythic Tarot to get you the external part of it. In other words, the soul power, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. You get to feel, breathe. Yeah, all the decks that I'm reading from are always in the description box, all the way at the bottom of the description box, because I put other links in there for further information. I am, after all, a spiritual teacher, as well as a reader. So let's get up in this gig, right? It's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, and we are good to go. Let's do this. Breathe. Yeah, my collective pantheons. I feel this. Please, 1 card in clarity to represent the work, the archetype being developed for this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, lower 3 chakras, their survival part of it, work, how they're paying the bills, how they're putting food on the table, how they're getting that done, their dominant archetype there, December into January, please. Same for their career, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. What is their interior hunger and thirst, their passion that fuels them, that lights them up? What's going on in that area of their life purpose? And their 8th chakra, their vocation, right? Their spiritual calling, what's inspiring them, moving them forward, pulling them forward on their path. December, January 2020 into 2021. Okay. Interesting, considering the Aries reading I just did before this one had the Queen archetype in the work position, you got the King. So I find that interesting, considering that Aries tends to be like fire energy, masculine, Taurus, feminine energy, earth. You guys flip that around. So if you have an Aries Taurus placement, this might be your read as well. The shadow attribute. Excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Oh, I think we've had just about enough of that. And by the way, that's why you know, the new world. That's why America was created. I'm not saying you're American wherever you are, but this dominant masculine toxic energy. I think we've had about enough of that. But it has to be alchemized. What are you going to do? Bury the lead? It's just going to leak, right? And make toxicity underground, so to speak. So to alchemize this into the light attribute, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. Holy crap. I'm not even going to talk about the socio-political aspects of this right now, but what we're looking at here really is the king is a divine masculine family archetype. So we're looking at the alchemization of one of the oldest archetypes, not as old as the mother and the father, but you got to realize that the father energy is the king of a country, right? The father of a country, like George Washington, but he wouldn't be a king. He didn't want to be a king, right? So you get that America doesn't like king archetypes, and let's just leave that there, right? We rebelled against that. Right, democracy. So what does that mean to be the king of the castle? Now we have such negative connotations with that because the toxic masculine energy, both in men and women, by the way. I am very equal opportunity when it comes to seeing shadow and light and toxicity in people. It's like your gender does not let you off the hook from all shadow activity. Everybody has a shadow, and it is collective. It's part of the collective unconscious, the stuff we repress collectively. So huge power grab here in the shadow, but a huge opportunity to serve with enlightened, benevolent leadership, right? Benefiting those in your charge. So this seems like a leadership position, but it can also be like chairperson of the board. I'm doing my best with this stuff, right? You got the dilettante in the career heart, third eye and crown, which I find very interesting. Dilettante, usually when you hear that word said, it's usually only in the negative, like, oh, such a dilettante, like a dabbler, right? It's like I'm like that with people who are new to the craft. They're like, well, what is it? I'm like, dabblers, right? It's like, don't dabble, practice. There's a difference. Shadow attribute of the dilettante. Pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. And look, if you're in charge of people, you've got to keep an eye on that, right? Remember, these are all connected somehow, these three levels of power. The light attribute delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Like, that's me with cooking. I love the culinary arts. I do not want to chop food that fast, right? It's like, no, I'm 52. My knife skills are fine. If it takes me an hour to chop all the mirepoix, that's fine. And I'm not using a machine. I'm going to do it by hand because I'm a Virgo. Alerts you to the dangers of becoming superficial in your pursuits, right? So that's the thing. Be careful of your superficiality. So in other words, if you're in charge of something physically, right, lower three chakras, and inside you're like, oh, whatever. Oh, no, I've studied this. Or pretension at it. And rather to be like, you know what? I can delight in this. I can learn from this. I can experience from this. The dilettante archetype can either show a lifelong interest in something, but like a hobby. Like I said, like I love to cook. Bolognese is my thing. I have everything I need for it. Oh, and my mom's having ham for Christmas. I haven't had ham in the longest time, so she gave me the ham bone. You know, I already ordered the split peas, right? But to me, I'm a potion witch, right? So I'm not looking to make a career out of it. So, but I delight in it. So yes, I have the dilettante archetype, really. And I guess maybe with home improvements a little bit. I'm not that great at it. But what's interesting here, though, this is really tricky. You got a wild card family in your 8th chakra, the addict archetype. To be addicted to spirit, I don't think that's what that means. But let me read it to you, right? Because spirit is a big part of this archetype. The shadow attribute compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your spirit. Now look, I never did the 12 steps, but I studied it. I'm an eclectic witch. I will take wisdom wherever. I mean, it doesn't work for everybody. I get that. But there is that thing about really bringing the spiritual part of it. I mean, really, I was an artist. I was a model. I was a dancer in the 80s. If my performing arts and modeling career had gone in a certain direction, I'd be dead by now. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll would have taken me out of the game. I'm pretty sure of that, right? So facing your addictions as part of your vocation. Now, everybody has addictions, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be drugs and alcohol. In fact, I would say, or any of that. I would think really in the 8th chakra, that what you're shooting for here is helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, which may not be your own. It might be like from a higher, like 8th chakra satellite point of view, looking down like GPS. You might be looking at addictive patterns. Now, why wouldn't people's addictive patterns, our own included, be coming up? We have had a lot of things stripped away from us this year because it was time, right? Like 2020 was just called the year of the crucible. Right? We're placed in the center of the furnace, and everything that no longer served us really spiritually was burned away, right? The physical things, the emotional things, the mental things, so much has changed so quickly, like a furnace, and it's been a long year, but look how much change we've got, and real transformation. There's no going back. You can't unbake pottery, right? So whatever these addictions and these attachments are, we're going to lay down the next 3 cards and see what your internal experience is with them. The king, the dilettante, and the addict. I mean, that really, if you put those 3 characters together, you're looking at somebody who has a great deal of power in the physical world, but is just sort of dicking around with it, only in the shadow here, and is doing it to, satisfy addictions. Now, if that is your case, then this is really a powerful thing. You get 2 months to really kind of look at this and develop this and heal it. Oh, I'm not getting that for Taurians, but let's see. Because that addiction doesn't have to necessarily be a physical addiction, right? It can be mental, emotional with that dilettante, or really, what is a spiritual addiction like? Interesting. If it helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, to see it from that larger part and understand that everybody's medicating their pain in 2021 and 2020 into 2021 as best that they can, but that's not necessarily healing, medicating pain. So let's see what's going on. Breathe. My goddesses, please. The Yin Force, the Divine Feminine, Demeter in particular, please. I need 3 cards for the heart, throat, third eye, and crown, the interior world, for the work, career, vocation, for these Taurian collective. Whoopsie. Sun, moon, rising, Venus signs in their work, career, vocation. December 2020 and July 2021, please. What's going on for them internally with that king archetype in their work? What's going on for them internally with that dilettante archetype in their career? And what's going on for them with that addict archetype? What's their experience of that in their vocation? December, January 2020 to 2021. And 3 major arcana cards. All right. And no joke, you've got the Lovers, you've got the Death card, and you've got the Strength card. Okay, so the king here, there's a major decision. Now look, this isn't a love reading. It's for a career vocation. The Lovers card here is about a life-changing decision, about bringing yourself into alignment with your head and your heart, right? The head might say yes, the heart might say no. You don't make that decision with the third chakra to speak or not speak until you get that stuff into, because it's going to affect a lot of people. I mean, this could very much be the decision between do you want are you going to decide upon excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint, or enlightened benevolent leadership benefiting those in your charge? Feels like you're in charge of something. I mean, even if people use the word housewife. I mean, I guess I'm a house husband. I'm married to my house, but it's not part of my career. It's part of my home life. But it is very much like if I was married to somebody, it would have to be an equal distribution just to get everything done here. It's a lot for one person. So I don't consider it part of my work. I consider that part of my work life. But I don't think it's derogatory, housewife. And people, housewife. It's like, that is an archetype. And a man can be a housewife. It is archetypal. Actually, Carolyn Myss talks about the housewife archetype. Look it up online. Myss, M-Y-S-S. In your career position here, you've got the Death card, the Phoenix. It feels like more rising from than going to the ashes, though, although that would make sense at the end of this year. Well, not that we're out of that burning forest yet. But something is transforming, your experience of this. And it is a death. Now, it's not the end of something, it's the transformation of something. The Death card traditionally is card number 13 out of 22 cards, the 0 card included, in the major arcana. So we're looking at a halfway point here where something is really transformed. And as I said, in the crucible, this is the crucible. Something has been melted down inside of you, transformed, alchemized from lead to gold. So may you now find delight in the arts without having to be a professional. It is a creative family archetype. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits, which makes sense. Like, I don't have much time for superficiality in my life, do you? In terms of your passions, right? It's like something has been burned away here. Now, whether the choice came first, the decision, I should say, whether that comes first or it's the other way around, that's the way energy flows, right? You want to think of it flowing down from the 8th chakra all the way down into physical form, but there's also that process of things going. You see that the lead to gold is from root chakra to 8th, and inspiration into form, manifestation, incarnation, bringing something into flesh, carn, meat, like carnivore. So this energy does go both ways in these readings. But you've got the strength card with the addict archetype here, which says to me that you have the courage that it takes to face whatever it is that would have authority over your inner spirit. I feel like perhaps you are surrounded in a vibration, let's say this spiritually, where people are afraid. And when you have fear, you have lack. And when you have lack, you have fear, right? So what do they do to compensate, right? Usually addictions are like that. It's like hitting the button that you know it's going to work because nothing else is working. So let's do this thing. I'll be honest with you. I took up smoking cigarettes again, but only in prayer, right? So that's yes, I know it's an addiction, but it's something to focus me in that moment. I never smoke a whole one, right? I say the prayer, put it out, I clip it. Unless it's a Saturday night and I have company afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So even that is prayer. Oh God, that was great. The card of strength is about internal strength, spiritual strength. Your experience of this is maybe holding on because, look, everybody has addictions. Maybe you've healed a bunch, and maybe there is a temptation, right? Like, I'm not seeing the devil card here, but I am seeing that thing that why would the card of strength be there? That you're going to follow your truth and follow your heart. But do understand, this isn't past, present, future. This is simultaneous. You've got the Lover's card, the Death card, and the Strength card. Lower 3 chakras, heart, throat, third eye, crown, and 8th chakra. This is pretty big. Let's see what this looks like on the outside. Mythic Tarot. Breathe. Feels good. It feels good. It feels good. Even that art. I just wonder if you're dealing with an industry, perhaps, that is so freaking out that it's like dealing with an addict on a larger scale. God, that could be anything. All right. What does this look like on the outside, please, my gods of earth, in the sign of Taurus for the Taurian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their work, career, vocation, December 2020 and January 2021, please clarify. Yeah, we'll do these one at a time. That's fine. Please, what does this look like, this king archetype in their work? Lower 3 chakras, that Lover's card within. Please, what does this look like on the outside? Justice. 2 major arcana cards. So look, something is coming into balance here that you have to make a fair decision about, or a fair decision is being made. This might be a personal thing to you in this physical manifestation stuff, but know that now look, if you wanted to really put these together in a different way, you could say that you're the king that is loving and just. Or at least that's the potential. I mean, that's really literal with the Lovers there, but remember, there's a life-changing decision. Now, what I mean by life-changing decision, there's a difference between a choice and a decision. I think I'll have another cup of coffee. That's a choice, right? Level of choice, level of consequence. A decision is life-changing. That's it. I'm quitting my job and I'm going to move to Brazil and raise my own coffee beans, and, it's life-changing. So it feels like something here, like, are you starting your own thing? Are you starting your own company? Are you taking more power in your work? And if so, make sure the legal documents, like the contracts, are all in place. I'm really big on job description. See, here at DrawingTheCircle Productions, I'm in charge of everything. Everything's in my job description, including scooping kitty litter and creating videos and praying and meditating. It's all part of the same thing for me. My work, career, and vocation have all fused into one thing. For good or ill, right? For some people, it drives them nuts what I have to do every day to do this, but I love it. So there's something about being just and fair and balanced here in the physical form. I like it. Like I said, this doesn't feel bad. It feels very empowering. And maybe this Death card with this Dilettante, something that was like, sort of a hobby, is being transformed into something much more deeper that you find great joy in. Breathe. My gods of earth and the element, sorry, my gods of Taurus and the element of earth, please, what does this look like? The Dilettante archetype with that Phoenix card. What does this look like on the outside? Yeah, Nine of Swords. So there's a lot of overthinking. This really does feel like, well, I don't know. This is something I enjoy doing, but you know, if I do this full time, am I still going to enjoy it? I think you are. And I think the Nine of Swords is just that. It's just been a lot of information, a lot to think about, and it's affecting you psychologically. But it might be calling you to really go with this transformation. Look, major arcana cards, you can't stop them. I mean, minor arcana cards, you could maybe run the other way, right? But major, you can't. This is a transformation that's going on inside of you, and it makes sense that there's a lot of thinking about it and a lot of contemplation, but also a lot of lost sleep. Now, if this is something that is of this scale, the king with the lovers on the inner and the justice on the outer, then good, right? It's like, do the mental work on this, do the research. Just don't drive yourself crazy with it, because it feels like something that was, it's sort of like, oh, I love making cookies, and now I have to, am I going to be making 10,000 cookies a day, right? Like that, something like that, that this is your creative intuition, and it's fine that your mind might be freaking out. And remember, Nine of Swords, what's the positive side? Like if every card is neutral, what is the light side of Nine of Swords? It is that mental creative process, almost at the 10, where I know what it's like when I was writing Words of Grace, which is coming out in Kindle, by the way, early next year. We're not sure exactly when the editor is working on it, because I don't know how to make an EPUB. I don't know how to do that. Hire somebody. So this is really, really that process of like losing sleep in your creativity. And I do that all the time. Well, not all the time. As you get older, you just take naps during the day. I learned that from Uncle Albert Einstein. Take naps, especially if you work from home and you live alone with 3 kitties that love to snuggle. Let's see what's going on here. This Addict archetype, that is the only one that gives me concern here, right? Even the king at first, I was like, oh, it could be a little narcissistic, right? Let's see. Narcissistic, you think? Excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint? Nah, we haven't seen any of that recently. So please, my gods, if you will, please clarify this Addict archetype. This one concerns me, but that card of strength puts me at ease. For this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, what does this look like in their vocation? December, January. 8 of Swords. Okay. Now look, the Addict and the 8 of Swords go hand in hand in the sense that it is a trap. But it is a trap that is mental in nature. So this could be addictive thinking. This could just simply be that, an addictive thought pattern. Like, I'm just not getting it's about drugs and alcohol here, or money or sex. That would show itself in the lower chakras in the first position here, or which would also mean you were dealing with a physical addict at work or whoever. But with this card of strength, you have to take the hero's journey on this one. Yes, there are addictive patterns that you are confronting, but now that you know, particularly with the 9 and the 8. So in other words, from this 8th perspective, you feel like you're trapped spiritually. I feel like your decision might very well be something that might be about compromising your spiritual principles in order to make money or something like that. And that's, I think, par for the course for 2020. I don't know about 2021. We'll see. But you have this strength in you that helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. So it's a mental trap. There's a circular thinking it's often caused, which if you're going to be in charge of something like this and you're having to go from something that perhaps was a fun thing that you enjoyed doing to now being like a channel of income for you, or a channel in your career, a channel that's bringing you in money, then I could see that there's a lot of overthinking here and a lot of looking back at the past, right? Which is good. Like, it's important to look at the past, but the past doesn't have to define us unless we decide it does. And is that the decision? Well, the last time I did this, this happened and that didn't work. So let me try something new. That's fine. I'm seeing that in the dilettante thing. But I have to say, this is life-changing in the sense of your work. This is definitely transformative in terms of your career. But in your vocation, it seems like the spiritual work there, that's where it really needs to be focused. What is your fear? What is your pain? Are you dealing with other addicts in a situation that, from a spiritual point of view, you're really stuck between a rock and a hard place here? This can play itself out so many ways. So please do comment. What is that addiction about? Because it's either you really trying to be like a true Taurus, right? Like a healer, and be supportive and very strong and very stable for people. And you do have the strength there, but it is spiritual strength. But really keep an eye on, helps you confront and recognize and confront addictive behavior. And if it is mental on your part, I get it. But it can all come out in a fair way. This can all be done in a loving, balanced, wise, loving, empowered decision. So there you have it, my Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. May the Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, December, January. That they may deal with this addictive archetype, the addict archetype, with great strength, seeing that the thinking that's going on, or thinking about dealing with addictive patterns within other people, is just part of their own vocation right now. It's part of their spiritual calling to understand that people are in pain, their own or somebody else's. That may they really alchemize this dilettante, where they are able to take this thing that they enjoy and express it and experience it in a way that serves and perhaps evolves into something way more potent and powerful. Though may their overthinking here be one of creativity and expansion and transformation, while they really make a life-changing decision within themselves based in fairness that allows them to be a benevolent, enlightened leader of others in some way, shape, or form, for their well-being, for the well-being of everyone that they come into contact with, and for the well-being of all, and for the well-being of the economy, by the way. So would it be. And so it is, right? We're earth signs. It's like, yeah, let's get this thing moving, right? And it does feel like you have the power to do that. But look, you got to look into the shadow part of that addict, whether it's you or somebody else, right? Compromises integrity and honesty. So the moment you feel like you have to lie, or someone's lying to you, just know most likely that they are allowing some addictive pattern to have authority over their inner spirit. I feel like if you're watching videos like this, particularly coming on my channel, that's probably not you, but it's something, there's something there for you that if this was a private reading, we would take another 15 minutes and go into this, but we're not going to. Instead, I'm going to ask you that if something resonated for you here, please hit the thumbs up, right? You want more? Hit the subscribe button. You want to know when I'm posting? Hit the notification bell, and please comment, what is this about? Otherwise, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed, truly the very best and the very blessed of your work, career, vocation, December 2020 into and including January 2021, my delicious, delightful earth sign brothers and sisters. Hail. Farewell. Blessed, blessed be.